Welcome back to the channel. Warhammer Man back in the studio with this week's pre-orders. And here come the Aeldari. Make sure to like and subscribe for Warhammer 40,000, Kill Team, Necromunda, Age of Sigmar, and of course warcry content as well. Let's take a look. So we see here a custom bundle, the Wanderers of the Stars, available only online. Basically has a little bit of everything in here. We see the Codex, dice, a custom art print, and then the cards. We have 2 Guardian squads, a squad of Dark Reapers, MAUGAN, the Dark Reaper Phoenix Lord, and a couple of Warlocks as well. And that is coming in for $442 USD. And then we have our Horus Heresy Print on Demand collection. And this is $142.50 and includes the 5 books we previously discussed. And then of course we have the Codex Aeldari Collector's Edition for $90. And this is a 200-page codex. And this one is the obvious special edition. And then we have our Dark Reaper squad, composed of 5 Reapers, including an exarch with some options and a little statue for $60. The Guardian Defenders, and we have 10 Guardians with the turret. And then also this same kit is going to make our Guardian Storm Guardian squad rather, with their defensive wave serpent turret. And either one of those is $55. It has all the options, so you can build either one with that same kit. And then, of course, we have our Warlocks here for $55. You get 2 of the Warlocks with some various head and weapon options. And then, of course, the regular Aeldari Codex is $55. And that is the new Codex price for everything from here on out. And then we have the Yncarne as well, available for the first time individually. And then we have the Risk game for $49.99. We'll call it an even 50. And then, of course, we have MAUGAN, the Phoenix Lord, for $45. And again, we can probably assume that all Phoenix Lords will be going to that price as well. So far, we just have like Janezar, and then like Drazar, and some of the other similar models like Lilith that we would expect that that's probably the price point that they will all be raised to with the impending price hikes. Then, of course, we have Eisenhorde Xenos, the Illustrated Annotated Edition hardback for $40. We have the Aeldari dice set for $38. And again, we can assume that all of the dice set available by Games Workshop will now go up to $38, as they will standard price everything. They're not just going to have the new stuff come out and be more expensive. We know the price hikes are coming, so we can assume that everything else is going to be raised to these similar prices as well. So Yvraine is next, again, individually offered for the first time now for $38 with her little cat. And then we have the Visarch also for $33.50, and that is the 3rd model from the set that was previously only available, the Triumvirate of Ynid. And then we have also from last week, Dominion Zephon for $32, Fafnir Ran for $32, and then the Horus Heresy Book 44, Crimson King for $30, Horus Heresy Book 42, Garo hardback for $30, Horus Heresy 45, Talaran hardback for $30, the Horus Heresy Book 43, Shattered Legions hardback for $30, and then of course the Horus Heresy Book 41, The Masters of Mankind hardbook for $30. And these are all the print to order ones, so they're available for a limited amount of time if you missed them previously. And then we have the Cubicle 7 Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay Electors Count, an old world card game. So this is basically like the old school kind of fantasy themed card game from a third-party distributor, but you can get them through Games Workshop. And then, of course, we have the data cards for $29, so we know that all data cards are probably going to be going from $25 to $29. And then still have the Eisenhorde bookmark, Witch Hunter paperback book, Saturn, the Horus Heresy Siege of Terra book 4 for $9.99, and then Cadian Blood paperback for $9.99. And all this stuff was from last week, I believe. Yeah, Kragnos, all that. Yeah. So yeah, everything was exactly what we anticipated. Obviously I made a video in advance about the pricing, and all these came in exactly in line. No surprises or anything here. We do have our first look at some of the actual kits and what is inside them, though. So, obviously we have some suspicions or ideas as to what the sprues are going to look like and what options are going to be available. So the big one for the Warlocks that we were paying attention to was, the way that it was worded and what we had seen so far. There was going to be quite a few head options, but you were going to have an open hand and a couple pistol options, but the kit was only going to include one spear, unfortunately, and one sword as well. And now here, looking at the kit, we know that obviously that is in fact the case. So that is definitely a missed opportunity. I do wish they would have given you 2 swords and 2 spears at the absolute minimum, just so that you could build both of them with a spear or both of them with a sword. So this is definitely a missed opportunity in my opinion. I do like that the ruins are separate, so you can build with or without those. If you're doing custom bases, you don't need to use those. We have basically the helmeted head option, a bare head option here. Here's our pistol and our spear. And then we see also there's the sword. And then we see 2 more options for the heads, helmeted and unhelmeted. And then here is the hand that is just sort of like casting the psychic power. So I kind of went over these previously and essentially like the different build options. So if you have a fixed 2 bodies and then you essentially can swap the right arms with each other or the left arms with each other, that basically gives you quite a few options. So essentially we can build this body with either of the 2 hands, so that is 2 options, and then we can build with the spear corresponding to either one of those, so that is 4 options. And then we can do the exact same thing over on this model. So we basically have like 8 different options of building the Warlock just with these 2 bodies and 4 arm choices. And then on top of that, from those 8 Warlocks, we have 4 different heads. So each of the configurations could use each of the different heads. So when it's all said and done, you can build like 32 different options for these Warlocks. So none of them have to look the same. But at the same time, there's also so many other bits available in the range that you would be able to swap out as well. So if you had built like a Farseer on Jetbike or something like that, that model comes with the spear or the sword. So then you can use your extra spear or sword bits to convert these guys, etc. So definitely some cool options and everything available, but it does feel like they kind of, for coming in at $55 for these 2 models, definitely feels like they could have given you 2 swords and 2 spears so that either guy can have either option. I would have definitely liked to see that at least. So let's take a look at these Reapers here. And, I'm just being a little bit overly critical just because, that's what we're doing here. So I obviously like those models. They look great. So here for the Reapers, so we see obviously there's a bunch of different head options. We see like the bare heads with like the top knots going on. We know they have the helmeted heads as well. We've already seen basically this is the reloading Reaper launcher, which is pretty cool. So he's like holding one of the rockets at his side, getting ready to reload it basically. And then there's nothing on the actual launcher itself. And then we see there's a couple regular Reaper launchers also on this sprue, and 3 total sprues for this set. So then here we have the Shuriken Cannon, another Reaper launcher, 3 more Reaper launchers. So again, there's plenty of Reaper launchers for this. Definitely have your choice of a bunch of them. This one's obviously the exarch one. We can tell by like the gigantic size of that end piece on that one. And then, did we miss one of the sprues there? I think it skipped over one of them. Oh no, we looked at all of them. Okay. So wait, what did I... Somewhere in there is the triple missiles. Okay, there it is. So these are the other 2 missiles that go on the one launcher. So it has like the 3 missiles on the end of it. So very cool. Definitely a bunch of different options there. I think they were pretty well shown off, to tell you the truth. Not a ton of surprises or anything. And if we just kind of keep checking these out here. So if we just take a look at the Guardians, obviously had a pretty good look at them. Oh, not going to show off the sprues, unfortunately. Not sure why they went that route. So obviously it comes with all the different weapons for the platform. Does not show the actual sprues, unfortunately. I do like to always take a look at those. And then the only other one really is MAUGAN Raw, and we haven't seen any different options for MAUGAN Raw, so we know there's no like special head swaps or anything like that. Just kind of taking a look at the model though and the layout, we see that the hooded head is actually built into the model, and then this looks like the actual like hood bits that hang down off of the head. So I think it would be pretty easy to do a head swap if you wanted to like denecronize this guy. You could pretty easily probably remove that head and then just put a different head in place. I like that these are separate so you don't have to like cut and kind of clean that up. So if you did want to do a conversion, that's an option. And then as far as the stance and the ruins, it wouldn't be hard to trim this dude off of the ruins and do a custom base for him. Here's our other one. So I don't actually see a leg attached to this piece. So it looks like you would basically just have to, yeah, okay. So you would just basically have to clean that little ridge off there and then cut this foot off of the ruins. And then you could pretty easily do a customized base. He'd obviously have to be standing on something, but it wouldn't look quite as awkward as the ruins. Now, I don't dislike the ruins. It kind of reminds me of Drazar, and honestly, I think it's pretty cool. I know a lot of people don't like it. That's been probably the number one pushback that I've seen. I think once you see some of the painted up ones that we did, like the video and community paint jobs that Games Workshop showed off, with a couple of like tufts and a little extra like rubble at the bottom right here, this base actually looked really good. It actually looks phenomenal. But I don't think it would be hard to kind of trim that up and do your thing. But overall, no surprises here. This is everything that we saw ahead of time. Price is right in line with everything we expected. So again, looks good. Lots of cool stuff coming out here. Definitely looking forward to hearing what's in the next wave of the Eldar releases. We have not heard anything in specific about when the Shroud Runners or the Rangers are going to be available separately. So as of now, they are still only available in the box set, and no rumors or anything of when they would be coming out. But as of now, I think what I'm doing is I went ahead and pulled the trigger, obviously, on the Codex itself. Looking forward to getting that. I'm going to have a look, and then I'm going to go from there. I'm in a nice position that I've been planning to build an Eldar army for a long time, and I've been basically just kind of holding off or waiting. And finally, with the announcement of the Codex, I'm ready to get back into it. The Aeldari or Eldar were my first army way back in the Rogue Trader days when the line was very limited. I have long since had an Eldar army, and I'm definitely looking forward to starting a new one. So I plan on 100% getting the Corsairs and then just kind of going from there. Not going to build some super ridiculous competitive army, but definitely going to have like all the different, Phoenix Warriors and all the different aspects, etc., or Phoenix Lords and the aspects. But in the meantime, I kept it pretty minimal on my initial orders, and then I'm going to just kind of look at the book and build along with that. I think in the past, typically I probably would have just bought a little bit of everything and went from there. But my time is very limited, just staying very busy and everything. So going to stay a little bit more focused on this one. Don't want to just end up with a huge pile of shame that I'm not going to mess with, or a bunch of models that I'm not going to use. So I'm going to get the Codex, pick a direction exactly where I want to go with my army, and then go from there. But I'm not going to go super competitive with the army. Definitely going to build it more for flavor itself. And, like coolness over, just being like super competitive and spamming a bunch of the same units. Probably won't have many repeat units in the entire army just because I want it to like represent the range a little more. This model is absolutely awesome. I love the Visarch. This dude is stunning. I mean, the fact that this model is as old as it is, which is not like super old, but the amount of detail in the armor and everything, I mean, this dude is sick. And then obviously the Yncarne is pretty cool. I definitely like the Yncarne model. But I think, like, honestly, the Visarch is probably my favorite of those three. Yvraine is really nice too. She is like super detailed. I really like it. She's definitely got like, I don't know, there's just something about this model. It just has like a different look to it than like the overall aesthetic of like Games Workshop models in general. So I really like this. I will probably end up getting all of them. I'm definitely most excited for like the avatar as like a centerpiece. But the Yncarne is very cool. See, these ones are a little less appealing to me just because they've already been available for so long and I never picked them up. So while I definitely want them, I'm not like, oh, I gotta have them. I'm much more like drawn to like the Phoenix Lords, obviously like the new models and everything. So, but very nice looking. If you guys have any particular models that you're super excited about or new releases that you're excited about, obviously glad to hear about that. I always like the community feedback from you guys. Let me know if you have like any of these in particular that you are picking up or direction already picked out for your army, whether you're going to do a specific craft world, if you're going to kind of go like I do and kind of hold off, see how the codex looks, see how like the models and rules and everything look, and then kind of go from there. Are you going for super competitive, trying to win that GT, or are you going to build one just to be like cool or thematic, etc.? Always like to hear from you guys. But that is it for this week's pre-orders. Everything pretty much right in line, actually exactly right in line. So this also gives us like an official idea as to what we can expect like comparable kits to go up to. So we can expect obviously like Howling Banshees and all the other kits to go up to like $60. We can expect, codexes all at $55 from here on out. We can expect dice for $38. We can expect the cards to be, $29. So this gives us a cemented, solid idea what we can expect pricing wise with the price increases. Now, I'm sure there's going to be a couple surprises here and there, but anything that is like directly comparable, is very clear. Like special edition codexes at 90, etc. So let me know what you think. I appreciate everybody. Thank you all for tuning in today. If you like this kind of video, all kinds of reactions, reviews, pre-orders, and pricing in advance, make sure to like and subscribe. I do everything from Warhammer 40,000, Kill Team, Necromunda, Age of Sigmar, and Warcry. And of course, we're a commission-based studio, so we show off the commissions as they go out of the studio, and then have quite a few tutorial videos as well for magnetizing, painting, all kinds of like how-tos for conversions, etc. So make sure you check those out also. But that's it for today. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and I'm out of here.